to when I have the
I know
means.
you're respectful. Oh, wait a minute. We started.
Welcome to Aluminum Spork, where mysteries come to talk. From ancient cities underground to UFOs that float around. Giants of the past, prophetic signs that last, archaeological fights, and strange unexplained lights. Aluminum Sport, where truth and legends intertwine. From pyramids to guidestones blown, to secrets carved in ancient stone, we're diving deep into the unknown. Hancock's theories we explore, while Congress opens UFO doors. From Göbekli Tepe's rise to jellyfish in darkened skies, mound builders of old, stories left untold, hidden history's core. We're questioning it all. Aluminum Sport, your weekly dose of mystery. From ancient text to modern day, we'll light up truth's hidden way. Join us as we investigate, where conspiracy
Here we go now.
meets reality, and history holds its secrets tight. On Aluminum Sport tonight.
Oh, yeah. It's our solo, everyone.
I missed the do.
I do miss the do also for the dump, but Aluminum Spork, it's Saturday night. I am Scott with Sporky News Podcast, or Spork, if you like to call me. I got really amped up to do tonight after watching like 24 hours straight of the Y-Files, and a new one's on tonight, so I'm excited. I love that channel, and their chat is great over there. They won't come and watch me, but that's okay. We're going to be talking Turkey, not gobble gobble, but the country, because I believe it is the key to the beginning, just to cracking open the door to lost ancient civilizations. We are pushing back dates. Well, not me, but archaeologists, pseudo archaeologists, are pushing back the dates from Mesopotamia to well past 12,000 years ago. And big archaeology and big universities do not want that to happen, because all their money is in the idea that for about 200,000 years we did nothing, in the last 6,000 we all of a sudden blew up.
I hate to be that guy, even though
You're going to be
kinda,
that guy. That's
I kind
fine.
of like it. Why? Don't you think
Yes.
if this new info that pushes back this whole timeline, right? If
Yeah.
that was proven by, I don't know, actual non pseudoscientists and archaeologists, but like
Yeah.
that it was true,
Mhm.
don't you think it would actually cause a flood, like a
You would think so.
of money for them to
right.
now study it, so they would be incentivized?
Oh, you would think so. You would think it would be the greatest thing in the world.
So
I mean,
why are you saying
Göbekli
that they
Tepe
wanted?
took 20 years before anyone would touch it. And Klaus Schmidt was the archaeologist on that. And if he wasn't as distinguished as he was, if it was a new archaeologist on the scene, They
Right.
may still
Like
try to
a
be
young
questioning
indie.
it. Yeah, a young indie. Like yeah. What was his name? Oh man, young
The
indie.
Chronicles. Oh, the one that died,
Yeah, the one that died in
25
the
Club or whatever it's
outside of the
called.
Viper Club. Outside the Viper
Yeah.
Club. River Phoenix.
There you go.
Yeah.
They
What's
took
up,
the wrong
Professor?
Phoenix.
They took the wrong Phoenix. They did. But and his name back then was Leaf Phoenix. It wasn't Joaquin. Little thing for you there, little info. Anyways, no, you would think so. Now, there's been an Italian group for the past 2 years gaining research on um the Giza Plateau, using LiDAR from two different companies, different times a day, different times a year, getting the same exact evidence. And they didn't come out with their full report at the time. It was just them saying, this is our information. We're going to show you some of it. And before they can even finish the statement, you had, oh God, what's his name from Egypt?
Uh,
The
Takafi? Kakafi? What's his name?
Wahi Hanas or something like that, calling it bogus. You had Dribble or Dibble, the one that was on Joe Rogan, who is his ancient study is in seeds, and he was like, "Oh, it's bullshit." You know, you have these large voices in archaeology trying to debunk, not even debunk, just saying it's bunk when new evidence comes out because you are taking away from their funding because that money will move to these new places.
But no, hold on. That's my problem though, right?
Mhm.
If it's proven that this is true, wouldn't the established big archaeology and
Big
big science or
archaeology.
whatever, wouldn't they see more money come in so that they could study it because they are the established
They
people
have
to
their
study it?
Yeah, but the established people have their money locked up in a certain narrative and certain sites. Now you're moving to Turkey
Right,
away
which is
from
going
what
to cost
they're
more
making.
money.
Yeah, other people's money. You're giving new people money. They don't want them to get money. It's there are people that have put out papers talking about it's in, oh God, Southeast Asia. I always forget the name of it. And Grant, if he was here, he would remember. But it looks like these volcanic, perfect rectangular blocks, like it must have been a temple thousands or a pyramid thousands and thousands of years ago, and it just got scattered. He has concrete evidence that it's the lowest level of it is over 22,000 years old. I think it's closer to 40. And he put it in one of those publications that do the papers, and they attacked him. Big archaeology
Mhm.
attacked the the website or the periodic, what are they called? They're like scientific websites.
Journals?
Journals? I wanted to say journals, I just didn't think that would sound right, but, they made it so that the company retracted the guy's work, even though there's evidence, everything, because that would push the narrative to him. He would get the money.
No,
So they're
I
all working together. I know
I
what
don't
you're
think that's
saying. It is
because
true. It is
like
true.
it's like Bird Dog, paying Bird Dog. You know what I mean? You give them a little money. Thanks for discovering this. Now we're going to send in the actual archaeologist without the pseudo attached
That's
to
the
it.
thing. If you are an archaeologist like that man is, even though he is from a university in, Southeast Asia, he
Already
is
discredited.
credited. You're taking money away from people that have been running the show for the last 50 years and giving it to him. They don't want
No, but
that.
you keep saying they're taking money away. This seems like an opportunity because you can only dig in the same spot for so long before there's nothing left for you to fucking archaeologize. So
Mm.
you would think that they would see this new discovery or whatever, and be like, you know what?
So
Let's
why
go
are they
see.
always crushing these sites? Why are they always stomping on them? Why do they allow a reporting for like 2 days and then you don't hear about it again? You don't
I
think
don't think
there
they
is
have that power that they can.
you
Who is they?
big archaeology and
What does that mean?
academia. Who are you? How long have you been on my channel? Come on, man. There's Grant.
I
Oi, when you gonna come on my show? What? I've never been invited.
I thought you have been on the Aussie. What is it? I was just on it today.
He didn't invite. I haven't been invited. I haven't seen a invite. I've heard about the new Aussie channel. I'm subscribed. I would love to come on. I'll take a Saturday off just to do it. Some people discoveries aren't accepted until after they're dead. She's absolutely right.
It
Yeah,
takes time.
you know what? We miss Jane too. No, okay. Tectonic plates. We all kind of now know tectonic plates is how the crust moves, how the earth changes
Right.
its shape on the surface. It was like 50 years. And in that 50 years, after he first showed evidence of this, and they destroyed his career, and he was no longer able to teach or anything like that, he won like a Nobel Prize. And all those people were finally dead. What it takes is like the new generation that learns about it, that accepts it before that old, the old, I don't know,
Guard,
elites
the
are
old
pushed
guard.
out. Yeah, the old guard is pushed out. I mean, let me share just what they have found in. Everybody has heard of Gobekli Tepe. I mean, I have, you have, and everybody else.
Oh, of course, the Tepe.
Yeah, the Tempe. Now, around it, there's all of this. So you have Gobekli Tempe right here, and a lot of people have heard of Karana Tempe, but you have all these Neolithic sites where it looks like a civilization. They don't want to say it, but a civilization was there pre Younger Dryas, which was 12,800 years ago. Everybody knows that.
It looks like just a multiple different groups of people.
No, because, and I could see what you're saying. These are all the names of the sites that we've given them. Like Gobekli Tempe means Potbelly Hill. You know, that's a name
Right.
we gave it.
But it wasn't a single civilization that covered this entire area.
How do we not know that yet? How is there proof that it isn't? Because you have like a temple, and then a couple miles away, you finally have
couple
a place.
miles. How far is Taslepitepipi from
big was the Roman Empire?
Hayokuk from?
How
far are those two apart?
What did you just say?
Taslepitepipi.
These are about, I would say, 50 miles away.
Well, it has a 20 miles right there.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
So
with
just
eyesight.
looking
So
at
maybe
it from
30. I would say
no. I'm talking about Ayanlar Hoyuk to the far left.
Over here.
Yeah, that one all the way up to Taslepitepipi. Nope, to the right.
Over here.
I mean that one. Yep,
yeah, but this could be a civilization that has different sites, different temples, different cities. They don't all have to be like, hey, I'm going to go over here. I mean, you're saying, okay, you know, how far is Rome from Britannia? How far is Rome
They had
from
wagons
Egypt?
and shit.
Okay, so the wheel's been around for a very long time.
Was it around at this time?
Yeah, the wheel had, I mean, yeah, sure, the wheel was around. I don't know. I would expect we're human beings, and something circular that can make things easier, we would just go with. I wish I was smarter. And did more research, but I don't know about that. What I do know is these sites do, if you take one of them and if you take them separately, it just seems very like, oh wow, this is just a temple to the stars. Okay, this one seems like more of a metropolis where it was probably like markets. What is this? Oh, this is where people live. There's housing, there's plumbing, like there's sewage, treatment. You know, they had actual sewage in the streets, like going through the streets. Oh, okay, yeah. But if you put it all together, it could be one civilization. I mean, this isn't that big of an area if you want to think of it as one whole civilization. And there's probably, I think they said, around Gobekli Tempe and Karana Tempe and the other temples, there's another 15 to 20 mounds or hills, which could have been other sites that make them all a little bit closer then.
What, remember the movie with it was an animated movie with Brad Pitt and Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell was the bad guy, but ended up being the good guy.
Oh,
the name of
Titan something? No, that was something different.
No, you're thinking Titan AE.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Who Framed
Uh,
Roger Rabbit?
no.
No,
It's Brad
no.
Pitt is like the
Brad Pitt.
superhero, whatever.
Megamind?
Megamind, yeah. What did Megamind call Metro City or whatever? He had a name for it. It was so fucking funny.
I don't remember.
You made me think of it when you said Metropolis. Somebody in the chat would
I
get
don't
it.
know. Reclaim It says the funding would definitely move to the new scientists willing to look forward. Yeah, it would, and then
No,
screws the
why
less.
why wouldn't the established people be paid to go and verify this shit?
New theorists shouldn't play victim, though. They should just present their evidence and address the critics amongst their peers using facts. Yeah, and they do, Jane, and then they get destroyed. And no matter what their facts are, they're not as loud as the bigger groups. You know, the more funded, the more known, let's say celebrity people. Because anything that comes up in Egypt, they go to Wali Wazas or whatever his name is. Um, and it's aggravating. They always go to him because during the what did they call it? The not the Egyptian Spring, the Muslim
Oh,
Spring,
the
when Egypt overthrew
yeah.
their president and they got rid of him as the head of,
Kerfuffle?
sure, it started with an M. The president
Mufasa? Mufasa?
Mufasa. No, I don't think it was Mufasa. Mudabi. Anyways, they when they got rid
The
of
Arab Spring.
the Arab Spring, that just popped into my head.
What the
When they moved, and they found out that he was corrupt, while he was also who was on, I can't remember his freaking name. But they got a younger guy in, and he was open to different ideas. Like the idea, the idea of, and he was one of those pseudoscientists because they call him pseudoscientists because they didn't go through, the academic uh trial of becoming a doctor or something or a
right, yeah,
professor.
that whole part where
The whole
you
part where back
learn
in the day you had to. Nowadays you could be self-taught, maybe not to the degree, but in one discipline, you could teach yourself everything they know in that
well,
one
yeah.
discipline. So there was a guy who back in the 80s came up with the serious idea that the pyramids were directly mirroring the Sirius constellation or the Sirius stars. He was destroyed, like utterly destroyed for 30 years. And it's just in the past 15 to 20. It was Graham Hancock and this other guy. But it was the other guy who came up with it. They're finally like, oh yeah, it is. It does line up. And there are still people who won't believe it, but it's the idea that they try to run these people's livelihoods. They're like, you know what they are? They're the Karens of academia and archaeology. They are the people that want to cancel you for having a different idea than them. And that's the problem.
Yeah, I think the issue though is just that I think that big archaeology should be more willing to go themselves to verify this information that these pseudo
Mhm.
self-taught
I agree.
archaeologists are finding. And
It's not
I
even self-taught people though, but you're right. You're
like
right. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like Lincoln
Yeah.
was a self-taught lawyer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? People
Yeah.
can do
Pretty
this.
damn good one too.
That was before the internet.
And he was a wrestler.
And he killed vampires.
Yeah, he was a vampire hunter. That's on the DL. I thought I was one of the only people that knew that story. Um, and Brian McCann has something good here. Sciences. Archaeology is just a whole field of guesswork. All hypothesis. Yeah, I mean,
Don't
to
agree
a
with that at
point,
all.
as far back when you go farther and farther back, there is some guessing. Like, okay, if they have this
Right.
pot and it may have trace amounts of oil, maybe this was an oil refinery.
Yeah, that
Hollywood.
sounds more than just guessing, especially if
I could come up
there
with
are there you have physical like evidence that you're looking at
Look at
and you're
Neanderthal.
studying. That's more than guesswork. You're like, okay, so based on, you know what I mean, what we know
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
these things in correlation to this, we can come. Yeah, it's a little bit more than
For how
guesswork.
long? 100 years we've been thinking Neanderthals are like goofy looking relative when Neanderthal
They are
was
goofy
probably
looking.
they were terrifying looking. For what they believe now, they were
That's subjective.
terrifying. They look like freaking werewolves, pretty much. They used to
I always
feed
thought
on
that.
us. They used to feed on us, and they pretty much almost brought us to extinction at least once. Not just them, but them hunting humans plus other outside things almost brought us to extinction because they were a lot stronger, they were faster. Um, they had civilization too compared to what we had. There's artwork from them, there's cave paintings and stuff. They weren't dumb, and they used to hunt us. Yeah, that blows your mind. I know. I know. Southern Belle, how are you? We got Soul Assassin, E. Clay Thomason. We have a bunch of people in the chat. It's great to see you guys. Thank you for being here. Vertical Horizon says we are just on a giant rock, lily pads floating above a ball of lava and mole people. I like that. I mean, I couldn't put it better. I couldn't put it better. How far is, what is that? Mississippi from Rome? Mississippi? Mississippi? It's more
Madison
than,
Pippy.
yeah, it's more than 20 miles. Oh, Kronos, what's up, my friend? This is where we disagree, but you're always welcome here. Well, we might not disagree on this. Each city was a nation to themselves, forming relationships between each other, trade, etc. Many civilizations. Yeah, I mean, you had Mesopotamia, Sumerian. Some of those cities were just their own city states, and the civilization was loosely connected till Gilgamesh came and just took it all around. So let's take a look at some of these places and what they got. There's a lot of people. Love you guys. What crazy nonsense we're talking about tonight. I like you too, Slender.
Oh, did you see the private chat?
No. Yeah, I did. I already responded to that like in the
Oh,
song during the
I just
song.
now saw
For
it.
once. For once I'm the one who responded.
It didn't have the thing where it like, hey, you have a message here.
Like the one. That's
No,
weird.
there's not a one on
Right?
mine.
Oh, that's weird. So look, if these two were pretty far apart, Navali Kore and Gobekli Tempe, or I could do it with my overlay. So do that because I'm pretty up on it tonight. So you see Navali Kore, excuse me, up near the northern sign over there, right under pottery, and then Gobekli Tempe's in the middle. So this article is bringing the two together. And this is Gobekli Tempe and Navali Kore, cornerstone of the lost civilization. This has to be true. For years, Gobekli Tempe and Navali Kore stood as enigmatic outliers, two ancient sites in southeastern Turkey, adorned with haunting T-shaped pillars that hinted at a level of sophistication we didn't expect from humanity's distant past. Gobekli Tempe, perched on a limestone ridge, was long seen as the world's oldest temple, a ceremonial hub built by wandering hunter-gatherers over 11,000 years ago. Navali Kore, 40 miles away, and now submerged in 1992 beneath the Euphrates River due to the construction of the Ataturkey Dam, probably by big archaeology, was not a curious echo. A smaller settlement with its own T pillars, drowned before its secrets were fully told. But recent discoveries are stitching these sites together into a bolder tapestry, not mere isolated outposts, but fragments of a sprawling, organized civilization that thrived in Upper Mesopotamia during the pre-pottery Neolithic. Boom, bro.
Where's
Boom.
this at? What website is this?
This is a real website. It's ancienthistory.com.
Ancienthistory.com.
Anybody could be a .com nowadays. Oh, it's
Wait,
Smithsonian.com. We got to believe them.
you say that as if it's like giving credit, like if you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's a
it's
great,
like,
it's a great website.
what? No, this is legit. Anyone can have a .com.
Oh yeah, I actually made it worse. Oh, I didn't even
Yes.
think about it. Son of a bitch. I did it. Okay, you're right. You're right.
.edu would be a little bit more.
What's up, Mark? How you doing, brother? Always like seeing you here, my friend. And Zombie Box is in the house. We had Jane and we have released the McCracken. By the way, sorry for dropping Monopoly Spork. Just got boring. Yeah, me too. No, I dropped it too, man. It was fun playing with you, but I dropped that too. I couldn't do it. Then I started playing Pokemon, and now that's boring. I gotta find another one like Yahtzee or something. All right, back to the story at hand.
I
Go.
downloaded Sunset Riders.
Oh,
Still
okay.
slaps. Remember at the arcade, it was the cowboy ones. You could pick
Oh,
between the
yeah,
four
yeah, yeah, yeah,
cowboys.
yeah, yeah,
And yeah, you had to run on the bulls.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I remember that.
Yeah,
I try to do solo leveling on my phone. I try to delete almost everything, and it still says you don't have enough memory. It's so weird. But I will be doing for the channel members. I will be doing hopefully this week, Thursday. I will be doing Game of Thrones King's Road game. You guys are going to start it with me, at least just the members, and we'll figure out how bad I am at games, which I am terrible at. But it should be fun. We should have a good time, and I'll embarrass myself. It's always good. And while we're talking about that, boom, 5 sporking memberships from me, myself, and I. So welcome whoever gets it. Um, Back to the story at hand. Okay, so this is Gobekli Tepe's hidden village.
to the lecture at hand.
I know. I was just going to do that too. Oh,
Oh,
Zach's a sponsor. Oh, wow. Some people I love. Small Time is back as a sponsor. Zach's Butcher of Belovican. I always screw up your name. Subhuman 84 and Moons of Madness. Thank you for being, well, I made you channel member, so you're welcome. Gobekli Tepe dwelling image. Okay. So the game changer at Gobekli Tepe came with the unearthing of domestic life. Excavations led by Dr. Lee Clare and the Germans. You got to trust the German Archaeologists Institute since 2019. That's where Klaus Schmidt used to be from. Have peeled back layers of soil to reveal more than just ritual enclosures. Now, I didn't even know that. I knew there might have been some settlement around it, but not houses with stone foundation, cisterns for rainwater, and thousands of grinding tools for wild grain suggest a settled community, not just a pit stop for pilgrims. Dated between 96,000 and 7,000 BC. I'm not doing this BCE bullshit. It's BC. This village, nestled among the famous tea pillars. I hate the BCE and
Why?
whatever the other one, because we dated the whole thing on Christ anyways. So what's the big deal? I mean, it's AD.
Yeah, but it wasn't even accurately dated on.
But it was. We're still there. That's what it was all about. Hey, that's 0. Just go with it, everybody. I get it. It's like off by maybe a couple years, but that's what it was done. Just go with it. It's been that way for like 2 millennia. Well, all of a sudden we have to change it. I'm say
fine
no.
with BCE.
Of course you're fine with that. And you're like
CE.
with big fucking archaeology anyways. Nestled among the famous tea pillars shows people didn't just worship here. They lived, ate, and planned their days under the shadow of their monumental creations. It's a revelation that flipped the old script of Gobekli Tepe wasn't a temple with visitors, but a home with a heartbeat. Boom. Now, Navali Kore, or Kori, the submerged predecessor, right? Precessor.
Real
Um,
quick.
please.
All right. The
Go
whole
ahead.
never trust establishment organization.
I didn't say never.
No.
most of the time.
It's in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Listen, there is a reason why they create rules and guidelines, and that they are quick to criticize or to try to discredit new quote unquote discoveries. Is because if they don't, you're gonna have all these people coming out with some banana shit like, I don't know, the earth is flat. And if there isn't that stopgap, that
You're a flat earther, so what are you talking about?
well, yeah, but that's legit. But
Oh,
like
okay.
if there's not anything to keep that from spreading to everyone,
Mhm.
then nothing matters. Yes, you can still criticize archaeology, like big archaeology and shit like that, but don't dismiss them out of hand. You're doing the exact thing that you're claiming and you're accusing academia of doing. You're like, oh, academia is just discrediting us out of hand without giving us a chance or whatever. And you're literally doing the same thing to them. Like you,
I don't see it.
come on, man.
I think he's absolutely right. And maybe
No.
never's a big word.
Yeah,
I would
that's what
say
I'm taking issue with.
question establishment organizations in
Sure.
archaeology, because I think he has a valid point. They created the rules to hinder other people from being able to advance discoveries.
But it's not without reason or cause.
Right.
Yes, they can
'cause
be over jealous. Like they can be over.
They're zealous.
Yeah. They can go too far with gatekeeping,
Right.
but it is
And
important. The same way that you all will talk about gatekeeping, like, oh, we're not going to let them ruin our anime, our manga, our whatever. It's the same idea.
yeah, no, I think you're absolutely wrong. When it comes to my stuff, I'm the one
Yeah,
who
but
decides.
your stuff is
Okay.
legit. Yeah. It's
Oh
your
yeah,
show.
my
Yeah.
stuff. It's my yeah, I like this. Yeah. What makes it common era anyways? The life crisis is why it is the common era, and I read it as before Christian era. I like that. Oh, here's Slender. Let's see what he has to say. It is freaking hollow. The moon is hollow alien space camera that they use to watch us like the Truman Show. It could be. It's definitely hollow, like the Earth. I hate him.
Who?
Oh God, I'm gonna start a GoFundSpork. If it's 4K, I'm gonna start a GoFundSpork so I
What's
can go to
4K?
Gobekli Tempe with Gary. That's
Oh,
it.
fuck that.
Oh, dude, I want to go. And right as he's filming things, I'm just gonna like be near him and film and let him talk and just put my head in there and then post it. Be like, yeah, I'm with you. I got you. Yeah, Gobekli. What was it again? Yeah. Because he knows a lot more than I do at times. I don't. Not that he knows a lot more. He remembers the names a lot better.
Man, I ain't paying 4,000 to go to sweat my balls off while I'm getting attacked by foreign mosquitoes. With
You did that for free with our government, so thank you for
it
that.
wasn't for free.
You did lose like 65%, right?
Like 65% of what?
Your skin? I don't know. All right. Anyways,
No, 27%. Excluding the donor sites for the skin grafts. So
good.
probably up to 40,
I wish
45.
I could have donated you some. That would have been
Fun
awesome.
fact: my Alive Day is in a few hours. Actually, it's almost the 20th.
What does your alive date mean?
It's when we got hit.
Oh, so you got
survived.
hit on 420?
Yeah, dude. I was legit smoking
Oh my God. And
on
that's
420.
probably why
Yeah.
Well, that's great. You were in our
It was a
portion
full body
smoking.
smoke.
Yeah, you did. You smoked
Like
real
a full
good.
body high. Yeah.
Dude, haven't you tried that mad-tastic stuff? Across the rolling hills. Yeah, we saw tells a parallel story until the waters silenced it. Excavated in 1980s and 1990s by Harold Humptiman before it flooding in 92, the site on the Euphrates boasted its own T-shaped pillars, eerily similar to Gobekli Tepe. But it wasn't all ritual temples. Rectangular houses with thick stone foundations, some with underfloor channels for drainage and or heating, housed a community from roughly 84,000 to 8,000 BC. Life-sized limestone statues, a bare human head with a snake-like tuft, a bird, hint at a rich artistic tradition. While the oldest known domesticated, what's that, encorn wheat points to early farming experiments. That's pretty interesting. Navali Quarry wasn't a fleeting camp. It was a place where people settled, innovated, and revered the same T-pillar motif that defines its famous neighbor. That's pretty interesting. And then you got Karana Tempe, Harbetsuvane Tempe, T-shape, Sefer Tempe, T-shape, Kurt Tepesi, T-shape. So if they're all using this T-shape pillar to tell a story or show like some type of, it almost seems like a religious or
I mean, it looks
also,
it's like a penis.
I mean, because you see penises everywhere. I just can't stop drawing them on thick ones, big ones, veiny ones. It's always a T-shaped pillar.
Super bad
Oh,
was legit.
I love that movie. Um,
Look,
But-
even Eclay, it looks like a ding dong to me. Yeah, immediately, like I was on a different tab. I come over, I'm like, oh no, that's a dick, dude. They're just carving out dicks.
I like that Slender's finally telling the truth. Spork, you know, the only reason I hit you with the skepticism is because you're too close to the truth, right? Yeah. He knows what I'm talking about. Hollow Earth, Hollow Moon, it's all hollow. We're all looking at the same stuff. Looks like a doorway. It could be, or, but many of them have, some of them have like carvings that are actually coming off of the T shape. So, meaning they carved something down to the T shape with like a jaguar. And I'll show pictures of that in a little bit too. I mean, the artistic value 11,000 years ago is ahead of its time, way ahead of its time. So, where did they learn to do that? Was there maybe a civilization before them? Or were they part of the end of a civilization, or just the starting to rise when the floods happened? I don't know. What binds these sites isn't just proximity. It's those towering T-shaped pillars, a signature unique to the San Rafa region. At Gobekli Tepe, they are carved with wild beasts, snakes, fox cranes, standing up to 18 feet tall, framing circular enclosures. At Navali Kore, they're integrated into walls, some bearing human hand reliefs, echoing the same anthropomorphic motif. I'm doing pretty good reading tonight.
You are.
Yeah, I'm like getting partial words almost. This isn't coincidence. It's a shared cultural DNA. The pillars, often interpreted as stylized human figures or ancestral guardians, suggest a common belief system, a thread weaving through the hills and valleys. Their construction, quarried from local limestone, hauled by sheer human grit, demanded coordination. Oh my God. Coordination, skill, and collective vision that transcends two lone settlements. A civilization in the making. And that's what I believe. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 sites very close to each other, all eight, I'm sorry, using the T-shaped pillar. And then you have all these other places that they're finding that are in that Neolithic pre-pottery era.
Dicks a jack.
What?
So, sorry, I looked over at chat. I shouldn't have done it.
Oh wow. Because he's a fly boy? I don't get it. Thought you were Navy. Great. Apparently now everybody's seeing dicks.
Yeah.
It's the truth. Yeah. I mean, hey, maybe that's what they wanted us to see.
Oh,
But they stood them up, so they're more T-shaped. But if they inverted them, you want to see dicks because Karana Tempe. Okay, hold on. Is there anything else to this? I
real
mean,
quick, I got to share this with you.
yeah. All right, you share. I'll keep
Speaking
looking.
of, you're gonna have to add it
Oh, I gotta take mine
Yeah.
out first, I guess. I didn't know that anymore.
if you want to read that.
Oh my God.
Go ahead, Scott. Are you gonna read it?
I am
People,
a
what about that?
What? Other people's lives? Other people's lives, not my own. I'm a straight man with a penis fetish. I mean, I because he touches it too much. I don't get it.
No, this is what it says. It says, this is him saying, I'm a straight man with a penis fetish. I wanted to do it like in a weird voice so people don't like
okay.
clip it.
Okay, I said it straight.
Yeah. Which is odd, with this
Yeah.
statement. Yeah, I'm a straight
Yeah,
man
yeah,
with a penis fetish.
Yeah.
Hey, news. This may come as a shock. I don't know how
Straight you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a question you might want to ask your, I don't know, therapist. But nowadays there's people all over the place, all over that spectrum, right? And you're all welcomed here. You are.
Apparently, bros are cuddling and shit.
Yeah, I mean, just two bros after playing basketball and wanting to help each other shower.
What?
What?
Okay.
Huh? Okay, so there's a lot more of this, and I'm not going to read it. There's some of those weird ones. Look at how the snake is coming out of the actual. So you had to carve down to that snake. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I find it to be very exciting, in a weird way. So let me get the Karana Tempe for you.
By the way, a fun fact: did you know that 98% of men refuse to go down on a feminine penis? That is a real statistic that I saw. And when I read it, I said, "What I'm reading is 2% of these men are not admitting to being gay."
It's like, what? What is a feminist penis? I don't even know what that is. That just a penis?
Yeah, it's because of penis. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. That got me a little weird. You want to see some phallic ones? Right there. You got that one right here. That to me is not T-shaped, but that is penal shaped. And then you got this happy guy like looking at it like, yeah, that's my thing. That's Karana Tempe. That was for the let's get freaky with it people, you know? Anyways, that was just me diverging from this story. Okay. Uh um send that video to Zach.
What video?
About what you just showed us. What was it again?
Oh, I don't. It was.
Oh shoot! How did I just lose you? That was
I
weird.
don't know. It was. It's just a screen. It was a screenshot for for some show. I don't know the
But
show.
what was it again? A string?
Uh,
Say it again.
yeah, I'm a straight man, with a penis fetish.
Sparking fact.
Okay,
That was all just to do that. That was all just to do that.
okay, well,
Okay.
that's not cool.
Anyways, how about masculine ones? Oh, we're getting off topic. It just turned
Oh,
into
that must be about penises.
the streaming is going off the rails. It clipped. Oh, thanks, eHacker. Drop the like, guys. If you're not following eHacker, he has great videos. Keeping up. Started with, I mean, he's been around way longer than I have. Got to know him. Started with the my daughter just walked up, so she threw my head out there. Talk for a second so I can say goodnight. But he awesome.
All right.
Please make
Yep.
sure you guys are subscribed.
So I don't know him, but I guess listen to Scott on that one. I am sending a video in the Aluminum Spork. It's about the moon. I think it's fake. I can't remember. I don't know. I haven't listened to it, so we may mad fap that.
Wait
If
a
you
minute.
check the
The moon it could be fake.
if you check the Aluminum Spork DM group, I
Mhm.
added a video of one of your pseudo scientists talking about the moon, the untold history of the moon.
I may have done a couple streams on that where the moon was
Oh,
a artificial satellite placed here.
yeah, belonging to the
It's
17th
too
planet. It was one of four
oh
moons and all that.
oh, we might have to watch that then because I don't know all that. All I know is we are one of the only moons or only planets we have ever observed that if it has a satellite, only has one. It is perfectly 1/6 the size of our planet. It slowed down our spin. It gave us our currents. Um, and it also the known hypothesis right now just aren't working for most of us. Yep. There's a lot of stories, ancient stories, the time before the moon. Many cultures have that.
I'm gonna add another one about
That one's for Slender. Thank you.
what
He's
they
right.
what they found beyond the wall.
Oh, the flat earthers found something beyond the wall.
Yeah.
You gotta love those guys. You gotta love them.
I can't wait until my motivation for my channel to grow is just so I can talk one of them into coming onto my channel because I don't want to get into the science and shit. I'm not a earthologist or some shit, right? Like I
Yeah,
can't talk about all that, but
right.
I want to know why. Who are they? Why can't you just head west and keep going? Why, you know what I
Every
mean?
time they do some type of scientific experiment, they prove the earth is round. Every time.
Oh,
I've not once seen them do an actual scientific experiment and not prove that the earth is round.
I don't know if it was with you, but I was watching this video of Flat Earth Dave, or whatever his name is,
Hmm.
and he was talking about how, like, you see, you can't just go west, right? Because your compass will always be changing, so you're going to be doing like a circle.
Yeah, you're just going to be going like
Yeah,
this.
right.
Yeah.
My first question would be like, okay, why don't you just ignore the compass and just keep going
How fast
straight?
is the planet moving? How fast is it moving? If I jump up straight up, why don't I land a couple of feet off if it's moving that fast?
Yeah,
I
this is
love
all
that
real
one.
things. But
They are real things. You can't see the curvature of the earth. Um,
ooh, I got a
Go in a hot
skinwalker
balloon.
video too.
What?
A skinwalker.
Oh, skinwalker videos are great.
Yeah, I don't like those. Those are
I
creepy.
haven't done those yet because ugh.
No,
This
I don't
is
like them.
website travelingpug.net, verified, legit. But they're bringing this is more of a travel one, but I wanted to bring it up because ancient underground cities in Turkey that most tourists don't know about. So it's all about tourism, but
Who the fuck is going to Turkey?
dude, why are there so many ancient underground like civilizations? All right, so now that we're off to the side, we can look at this one. This first one they're talking about is Darren Kuyu. Now, Darren Kuyu looks like this. This is an underground civilization that had wine pressing, stables for the animals, grain houses,
Hold
air
on.
shafts. Um, they went all the way down to bedrock in the water level.
Skirt.
20
Hold on.
what 20,000 people could live there.
That is some nonsense that you're showing.
No, that's it. That's how it
Who?
looks from the side. Yeah, yeah. This is it right here, Darren Cunyu. It is huge, mad. 20,000 people could live there. Huge. And they're trying to say that Christians built it because they found like an arching of a cross in one of the areas that Christians turned it into a temple at one point. They're trying to say Christians built this because of persecution. Now, to me, most Christians wouldn't hide from persecution to build this evolved type of place. Most Christians will stand their ground at that time and say, yes, I'm a Christian. Throw me to the lines, whatever you got to do. Others hid, the fish symbol. We're Christians over here. I get that. But to build something like this in just, I think they wanted to say it was like a 30-year period. This is hard rock that they're going through where they have different, you see this wheel over here, right over here, they built different areas where they can shut the wheel and then use a hole to attack incoming people. Not very Christian. So this place is unbelievably big, and it was found by accident. A guy was trying to expand his basement and he fell into it, and he was like, "Oh
That
shit!"
always happens.
Yeah, right. Um,
I was walking some goats.
so it has 18 distinct levels, 250 feet below the surface. And vast complex once housed up to 20,000 people with livestock, food storage, featuring sophisticated security systems, including massive stone doors that could be closed from the inside. The engineering
We can
precision
close
is
doors from the
remarkable.
inside today.
Yeah, but
That's not impressive.
okay. If it's as old as people believe it could be, it's very impressive that they thought
What
of this.
website is this?
This is just the travel pug. He's telling you these are fun places to go to. I'm telling you more than that. He's not saying that this is ancient as far back as I believe it is. Because also between a lot of these cities, they're
Where did
finding
they poop?
they had areas for that too. Yeah.
They had a poop room in
They had,
the
they,
poop cave.
they had poop caves, I'm believing, and they would use it, I think, to turn it into some type of fertilizer. They had air shafts that were hidden from above ground, but came in so that people wouldn't know to hide their,
What?
just throw fire and smoke down it.
Yeah, did they have fires inside?
Mhm. They
Okay,
had,
cool. So where did the
but
smoke go?
it did go out. So who
Mm-hmm.
are they hiding, or are they living under there because there was a catastrophe?
Right, but like they weren't worried about people seeing the smoke.
No. What I'm saying, if they were the Christians,
Right,
why
I get
would they?
that.
These people weren't scared of people seeing them. Maybe they were hiding from, I don't know, Neanderthal or something like
Well,
that.
either way, like
But
they
they
have all
were
the
down there
security
because
stuff, but like one thing you're going to want to do is not have smoke giving away your location.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And I will dive deeper into that question, and I'll get
And the
you an
poop one.
by next week. And the poop one. Yeah, I will. You don't want to go into your water line because that would be terrible. Thanks for all that.
I mean, you
You're
can't
on point.
grow any crops down there.
Yeah, but they had granaries. They had olive oil and wine presses down there. They could bring enough food down there to survive a vicious winter or some type of
Right.
catastrophe.
Okay, so above ground, they have all their crops planted and stuff like that. They're gonna have to have some type of defense for those, not only from like roaming bands of
Right.
like groups of bandits, but also
Animals.
animals,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Like
I'm with you.
emu. Emu are
Mhm.
notorious
Vicious
for sitting
bastard.
on wheat.
Yep.
I don't know if Turkey has them, but maybe they did at that
I
time.
maybe, maybe
But
giant emus.
then you have all this shit underground. Just build walls above ground. You're already up there. Also,
What
you need
happens? See, you
vitamin
see
D.
smoke. Smoke's coming out the top. What's saying they weren't? It wasn't people they were scared of or where they were hiding from, but it was the weather. Let's say that the weather was that vicious. I mean, during the Younger Dryas, it went from ice age, end of an ice age, to a drastic heating, to a drastic cooling, to then a heating again. So who's saying during that drastic cooling they didn't decide, okay, we're going to hide down here because if we don't, we're going to die. It may be
Ugh.
where Oompa Loompas are from. That's
Imagine if
true.
all the outhouses are above ground and you gotta walk. You wake up in the middle of the night and you gotta walk up 20 fucking flight of stairs.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Vitamin D is a conspiracy from big supplements. You may have a point there. We don't know, but I want to see you do some research on that, Slender, for me. You also have Kayamakali Underground, um, just 6 miles from Kuyu. Now, also, some of these they have like kilometer long tunnels going from one to the other underground,
Right.
like
Like
2 to 8 kilometers, but they're just Christians hanging out.
JFK had for his hose.
Or his hose. We'll call them the JFK Ho passageways. You're right. Um, so just 6 miles away, as an interconnected but separate underground community with this distinct architecture and layout, the city features lower ceilings and narrower passageways than its neighbor, with 8 discovered levels organized around ventilation shafts that double as central plazas. I think they must have some archaeological evidence suggests specialized areas for wine production with large pressing rooms and storage areas for vessels still visible on the third level. So they've only made it 8 levels down in this one. Then you have Ozkonak Underground City. I mean, just the idea that people went this far to build these places is just unbelievable to me. I'm way too lazy. I'd just be like, let the earth kill me, you know? This one was discovered in 72. Local farmers remained hidden for centuries thanks to cleverly concealed entrances. The 10-level complex includes unique defense features not found elsewhere, including small hollows above passageways where defenders could pour hot oil on invaders. That sounds more medieval, but it could be. The settlement also contained evidence of an early communication system. Small pipes connected various levels that residents could use to speak between sections without traveling through potential dangerous corridors during attacks. Unbelievable. Like, that's some shit right there. I
I'm
don't
not
know.
impressed with them.
You are what?
No, listen. Connecting two coffee cans with a string and putting it on opposite sides of a tunnel so they can talk is not
Yeah.
impressive.
But if they drill a hole, small hole, without, with maybe, I don't know, bronze tools or some shit through, that's pretty damn impressive. But yeah, if they just were smart enough to use the coffee cans.
You know what? All these invaders and stuff, they wouldn't have had to fuck with them. Just destroy all of their crops that are above ground, starve them out.
Mm, it could be years.
They got to come up
Yeah,
sometime.
a lot of wine. Um, Mazi Underground City. So, located in Cappadocia's lesser visited western region, Mazi remains partially unexplored due to collapsed sections that have proven difficult for archaeologists to access, or big archaeology doesn't want you to access. The accessible portions showcase surprisingly refined living quarters with carved niches for oil lamps and storage, suggesting this may have been home to wealthier residents than some of the other underground settlements. There's always a class system. Recent excavations have uncovered unusually large communal kitchens with multiple hearths and preparation areas, indicating highly organized communal meal system. And then you have Tatalaran Underground. And this chick, look at,
Imagine you see these people come up. They look like the people from the Time Machine
mhm.
in the future, like the people that what were they called? The Warlocks, Morlocks in the Time Machine. Have you never read the Time
Oh,
Machine? H.G.
with
Wells.
all the little people. Oh no, the time machine. I don't remember the
There
name.
was a name
I
for
don't.
them, but
Yeah, I
that's what they
know.
would look like coming up
Yeah,
there, all like, "Eh, the sun, the sun,
the sleaze stacks or whatever from Land of the Lost. They were lizard people.
living in the land of the lost."
Mm. All right, this lady's there. Look, she has to duck because people were smaller. Discovering during construction work in
Smaller, were they
75,
hobbits?
they may have been. There were hobbits in Australia.
I knew
Uh,
that.
differs from other underground complexes with its emphasis on religious spaces rather than defensive features. Multiple rooms that appeared to have served as churches, possibly training areas for priests or uh, druids, complete with carved altars and religious Symbols. Now, there may be carved symbols, but who's to say they didn't carve them way after? We know that in a lot of places, people have just added on to what was there before.
Well, yeah, of course.
So let's dive a little deeper, people. Geysir Underground City. Look at this one. Pretty wide open spaces. This is also near the Cappadocia eastern edge.
Ah, yeah.
Gazimir, yeah, beautiful land. Remained completely unknown until 2006 when restoration work on a building revealed a small entrance that had been sealed for, I will say, millennia. Preliminary exploration has, oh, maybe it was centuries because other people used it, has uncovered a vast network spanning at least 7 levels with unusual circular chambers believed to have served as meeting rooms for community decision making. Most intriguing, the city contains a subterranean creek that flows through specially constructed channels, providing residents with running water, a luxury even many surface dwellers lacked. And then you have this Nasir Castle underground city. Freaking castle, people. I mean, that's like high rise, sky, or what do you call those? I can't remember. Shut up, Scott.
I
This was
don't
this.
think these are pre-diluvian.
They most likely are. I'm with
Shit.
whoever said that. That sounds really smart. What's up, Brad? It's Slender. Um, these underground cities are 12,000 plus years old or more. Yeah, they're pre-Great Flood. I'm with you. I discovered, okay,
Pre-diluvian.
this was beneath the Nevis Sahar Castle, may ultimately prove to be the largest underground settlement in the region. Initial surveys suggest that city spans over 450,000 square feet with more than 100 entrance points connecting to the surface. The site features unusual artifacts indicating extensive trade connections, including storage areas containing pottery fragments from as far away as Syria and Mesopotamia, suggesting this wasn't merely defensive, but commercial center. But what what forced them to make all these underground places? Was it just roving bands of
Bandits.
bandits? Was it other civilizations, or was there something major going above them that forced them
But
underground?
anything like that, because I saw other people talking about like meteors or solar
Flares,
like
yeah.
ejections or whatever,
Mm,
ejaculations from solar or something. It all of that
hmm.
would also affect their crops.
Yeah. Yeah, it would. You're absolutely right. Now,
Any weather, any any natural disasters or anything like that, any of those factors that would force them, because this isn't something you just build in a day. This isn't
No,
a
this takes
tent,
years.
right? So any of that would absolutely just destroy any
Anything
chance
around.
of having any types of crops.
Right, you're
But we
right.
know they
So
had crops because of what they had
yes,
these rooms for, right?
but could it be that this is what they did because they knew something was happening? Because I mean, we know that there's meteor or an asteroid that might hit us on its way back in 2035 or something like that. Like, did they use the stars to know that the or even just the Earth was changing, getting colder? So maybe we
A-
need to protect
Again, it would
ourselves.
affect their crops.
Yeah, but if you get enough and hope that you
But
last this thing out.
here's what you don't want to do.
Yeah,
When you don't want to stay in one place when
I
you
get you.
have no food.
I got you, man. You start eating people that are weak. I don't know. I can't tell you how long they were down there and if the Earth was less. I don't
Again,
know.
it would affect the crops. That's the
Yeah,
big
it
hole
would.
here.
You're right. But did they do they have, where the warehouses, we'll just call them, full of flour or wheat? Was it full? They could they get by for, let's even say, just a couple years on what they had? We
Cold
don't know.
weather would affect their crops.
The crops above, but if you were able to take these crops that can last a long time in a
But
cool, controlled area where.
but what do we know that they had down there, right? They had
Yep.
grain
Yes.
and wine. Wine is grapes.
Yeah, good shit.
Yeah, those two things you're not going to grow underground.
You're not growing them underground, but if you have enough to last, let's say 2 years, if we're rationing what we have, we need to outlast this cold spout or something. Maybe they all, people didn't make it and they tried to get it back out and
Okay,
they
if
didn't
they're
survive.
being oh boy, Chad. If they're being forced underground for some
Mushrooms.
type of natural disaster or some effect, cold or what have you,
Mm-hmm.
it would affect their crops.
Yeah, crops. You're right. Hunting for meat,
People have lived
mushrooms.
above ground during seasons for
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
way too long for the justification to be well in the summer they would grow crops, but then in the winter they'd be underground.
And then they would come back up, you're saying, to do crops again. I get what you're
People
saying.
learned how to build shelter above ground.
What happens if there was no spring for 2 years?
So what happens with your crops?
Well, you save your seeds, but
How
you
did you
keep
know
it
that was
in
coming?
storage. Because they're not dumb people. They saw it in the stars, man.
All I see is
You are
fault in the stars.
No, all you see is you sitting in your comfortable home with your comfortable microphone and going to the Quickie Mart to pick up some food. These people had to plan, they had to be ready, and they were waiting, and they knew it was coming. I don't know if that's true, but I want to believe it.
People have survived winters above ground since people.
Yes, winters. I got you. But we even had a winter where there was no summer. It snowed in July. That was like in the
Right.
1700s.
I'm
So let's
saying
say
because
this is 10
people are
times worse.
saying they come out in the summer, grow crops, store it, then go
I
underground.
don't
Why
I
go
don't
underground?
I don't think that's what they did. I don't
Yeah.
think it was that severe that they would have to, like Game of Thrones or something. I'm saying, but like Game of Thrones, did this winter last 2 years because an ejection hit the ice cap or something happened to cool the earth fast? You know, they might have been prepping for it. I'm not saying they never came back above ground.
No, I know. I'm just trying to find the justification for them building this entire underground city or whatever.
Yeah.
What
They gotta
drove
build it
them
for a reason.
underground?
I can't
Anything
believe it.
weather related is going to affect the crops. So I
Whoa.
feel like that's a non-starter.
It will affect the crops for maybe they believed it would be a short period, and then they went back up a year or two later and they planted their damn crops with the seeds they
this
had.
you don't build this
Boom!
for, oh, we're gonna have a rough winter this year. This isn't
Not
a
this year. This is like we're going to be screwed for a long time. And maybe the
but how
interconnected
would they
different
know
groups had
that?
different stuff and they traded. Yeah. How would they know that? How do we know that? We look to the stars, my friend.
That's the
We look
problem,
to the
Slender.
heavens.
They were so concerned if they could, they never stopped to consider if they should.
Well, that's a deep one. That's a deep one. And you're
Just
just a
came up with that
hater on
right now on my own.
you're yeah. Oh, yeah, on your own.
Trademark, copyrighted.
I just see you hating our ancestors. That's what I see.
Not a fan.
Yeah, you're not a fan. You're not a fan. You know what? And they would kick you out into the cold.
I get that.
Yeah, yeah, I know you get that.
And
Oh,
guess
you
what I
get
would do?
that.
Build a shelter.
This group had a sophisticated animal husbandry system with specialized areas for different livestock, indigenous waste management solutions that prevented contamination of living spaces. These people weren't just dummies. They thought
I
about
get that.
everything. And you're just calling them all idiots.
No, I'm just asking.
It's heartbreaking. This complex included evidence of advanced food storage technology. Oh my God, with cool chambers carved specifically to preserve different types of provisions at optimal temperatures. Where don't you get that part?
Wait,
Food
what me?
storage. Yeah, food storage. You store it and pray to God you have enough there to last the decade-long winter that
I
comes.
get that. But wouldn't you think
Mm-hmm.
when you're concerned that something is going to happen to your food supply that you're trying to build up for years,
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't you think, hey guys, just a thought,
Mm-hmm.
maybe we
move.
should go where the food is?
I agree with you on that. But this group said, screw this. This is our land. And we're building underground while you guys go farm for us, hunt, and capture animals. We'll keep digging. By the time we're ready for this catastrophe, we're going to ride it out underground. I just hate that you hate everyone.
I
There
don't.
you
Those
go.
old people.
Fauci did it. It's his fault. This has been painful. Beckham Underground City. This was the football player. Yep. No, Beckham's Underground Complex. Where
It's
is this
not
one?
prepping if your entire society lives there. That's not prepping.
They could have had different avenues. Man, there is a lot of these. I am shocked how many there are. I mean, there had to be something that happened that forced them all to say we are building a mega structure underground. You know what I mean? With sophisticated waste management, dedicated areas for different seasons. So maybe they did. This was only temporary. Occupied that one. This one, Sarah Lasuyu. Lesser known, or rather vertically spreading through natural cave system that were expanded and connected by human engineers. The site featured unusual acoustic properties with certain chambers designed to amplify sound, possibly for communication or ceremonial. While other sections were remarkably sound isolated. Water management systems included collection basins that gathered condensation from the walls, supplementing well water during dry periods. I mean, they thought of everything. You know, you could be eating the moss off the walls and the mushrooms.
Did they think if they thought of everything, they would still exist?
Well, how old would they be now? I was about to call you Grant, so I had to stop. I was like, you know, there's just so many. We're done because I can't go through all these. I just hate your hating.
That one doesn't count. There's not a roof.
Look at that one. Wow. Ndogola Underground City. That's pretty. Yeah. Different chambers. There was council rooms in this one with seating arranged in a circle. Look at that one.
Like a round table?
They look like they all drowned in this city. Holy crap. It's underwater. Shit. They did have a filtration system, I guess. It didn't work. This one's just into the mountains, so I guess that doesn't count.
Yeah, no, that one makes sense.
Yeah, you don't.
You can look out and see what's coming.
Sense. You can look out.
Do they have periscopes in these underground cities like a submarine?
Look at this defense system. Boom, drops, and then they have like a little area where they can attack from. Oh, it's so cool. you need to learn more about this stuff. I think you have a chance to be great.
I
And
just want to know why they did it. That's all.
well, that's the question, isn't it? That we're all asking.
I mean, it seems like a lot of people think they have the answer. It's what I'm seeing in chat.
No, I think Bride of Slender, us, they'd be us.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, Matt, how far away is your refrigerator from you right now?
Probably about I'd say a power forward.
Yeah. I like what Kronos says here. Maybe Neanderthals built them and people moved in after they were gone. Someone once told me Neanderthals had vitamin D deficiency and that's why they were the way they were. I never knew that. Neanderthals terrify me.
I
Glad
mean,
they're dead.
it's hard to carve into stone with your wooden club.
No, they were more advanced than that.
I'm basing mine on the Flintstones, basically.
I like that. They weren't Neanderthals, they were us.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Didn't they have wasn't there a cartoon with like a caveman with a club?
Captain Caveman. He was all hairy.
Yeah, that was him.
Yeah, Captain Caveman. We're going to change the script here for a minute because I have to see what evidence you are showing us.
Oh, no, I am not endorsing.
This is Mad endorsing whatever this is. Don't listen to him. He's the one that sent it and said, and really, I won't show our DMs, but in the DM, he said, Scott, I have to have you believe this. This is the truth of what the moon is all about.
Bullshit.
And it literally, he had a video of himself like crying as he talked about it, like how powerful this is. So we're going to see this. I don't want people to be embarrassed of you crying. So
there's some bullshit.
Here we go.
The moon was brought here 12,000 years ago.
Okay, so I already have a problem.
What are you talking about? It was brought here 12,000 years ago.
12,000 years ago. So what? Before the moon was here, women just didn't have menstrual cycles? Is that what he's telling me?
It was a time that was amazing for men.
Right? People were like, "Oh no, the asteroid's going to hit the moon." Thank God.
Get that thing out of here. Hey, can you guys drive it away, please?
12,000 years ago.
12,000.
Our moon is in fact an artificial satellite. It is not a real planet.
I wonder if
no one ever thought the moon was a planet.
I mean, it's a satellite. He said it in the first place. I don't know why he's called it a planet. But if I grew my hair out, I wonder if it would look like that.
Oh,
like a stick head, you know?
Gets a couple notes. One, you see where his name says Alex Collier and then on the moon. Normally underneath there you would have something like, I don't know, PhD in moonology or
moon expert.
Yeah, something like that. Not
just on the moon. I love
also, him calling it not a real planet is concerning.
It could have been part of anyways, we'll go on.
It can literally leave our orbit underneath its own power.
Underneath its own power.
According to the Andromedans, it was brought here.
Wait, what's the Andromedans?
Anyway, I mean, that's not important. Everyone knows what Andromedus is, according to it.
It's tough to follow along with your banana-ness when you throw out terms but that I've never heard before and you don't even bother doing a quick hey.
Bride of Slender wants you to know, oh, sweet baby Jesus, save us all from the stupidity of the internet. Remember when they thought people were dumb because they just didn't have access to information? You know,
well, I mean, a lack of information would make
we've only listened to a short 16 seconds of this poor guy. Can we give him a chance, everybody?
All right, I'll let him cook.
Yeah.
According to the Andromedans, it was brought here from Ursa Minor.
Okay, that makes
stop.
sense. Okay.
What is this Adominus that told him it was brought here? Like he even knows the starting location of this fake moon or this fake planet.
All right, I just had a
Andromedus. That sounds like some Mass Effect bullshit.
Okay, I'll figure that out. Here we go.
According to the Andromedans, it was brought here from Ursa Minor, from a star system called Chalta.
Oh.
That had 21 planets in it. It belonged to the 17th planet, and it was one of 4 moons.
Wait, were they real
Now,
moons?
there are ruins all
They were, there's ruins all over it. There were real moons. Maybe that's why he called it a planet.
Wait, I thought he said it was an artificial fucking something at the beginning, and now he's saying, well, no, it is a moon. It's just Ursa the Hoodoo moon. It's one of their 4 moons. Are we have it on layaway? Are we
I
renting? Are we buying? Is this a lease that we have on this moon?
Okay, the Xenia from Andromeda constellation, that might explain why the moon was once said to be older than our solar system.
No, what is Andromedas?
It's just from the purebred Andromedan star seeds here on Earth. There's believe there are a few purebred Andromedans here on Earth.
What?
That's Andromedans. They're the starseed people. They're the people that brought the moon, and they're
Like
still
the
here.
Thetans?
They're the Dromedan star children, 14 major signs. If you want to figure out who they are and what their DNA looks like. I mean, everyone's heard of it. Let's go on.
over it. The map is there. There are some pictures there.
Where's the pictures?
There's a lot more,
Oh my God.
which we don't have today.
Do we have
But
2
it will
moons?
be coming out.
Do we have 2 moons? Oh, don't worry, but it will be coming out, guys. He doesn't have the pictures right now.
Cool.
Okay.
By the way, I can't see anything on those pictures.
But I see 2 moons, not just one. It came from Andromeda. The skull head gives him extra credibility.
This is why the Apollo astronauts stopped going back. It's because there was somebody already there and they were told not to go back.
Okay,
Wait,
there.
hold on. By who?
Okay, by NASA. By
Why didn't
the
they tell them after the
by-
first time they went to the moon? Why did it take several trips before they were like, you know what, guys, why don't we
we
stop
didn't go there
going
the
there?
first time, first of all. Now, is there stuff on the moon? Maybe.
There was somebody already
Maybe.
there.
Millions of years ago. Millions and millions of years ago.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Before
Because what
it
this guy
came
is saying,
from Andromeda.
there was somebody already there that were told not to go back.
No. That was our astronauts.
I'm just reading it.
Yeah, okay. There was somebody already there that were told not to go. Maybe they told us not to go back. Are we talking about moon people told us? Like the Adronodons people?
I don't know. Pull them back a couple.
Okay, let's go back just a hair. I didn't mean to say a hair on that guy. Sorry. Okay.
There you go.
This is why you follow astronauts. Stop. Oh, astronauts stop going back.
Astronauts stopped going back. It's because there was somebody already there and they were told not to go back.
Oh. Okay, so there is an alien base on the moon by Fred Steckling.
This information is out there. Where?
They don't want you to see it. They're suppressing this info. But I have seen
the info's
things
out
that
there.
do look like structures on the moon. I mean, I've seen it.
Yeah, we see shapes and everything.
Don't start going with that whatever it is. Though
That's why earlier
I did see a rock profile that looked like George Washington the other day.
Oh, did you? I was about to say that was why earlier in the stream everybody was like, "That's a dick. That's a carving of a dick." Because
They're
we
just all
see
perverts. They're just all perverts. It was a moon shark after they defeated the moon jets. Oh my God.
Oh,
It was a
man,
turf
the
war.
biker mice from Mars came in.
I want to be on the moon today. I want to be on the moon today.
Sorry.
Okay, our moon is 9.1 billion years old.
Is that a fact?
I mean, one, you shouldn't ask a moon its age. That's just rude.
That is
Two, how did you get 9.1 billion?
Now, I do know that the older material on the moon is on top.
Wait, how does that make sense?
That is real. It doesn't make sense, but the older rocks are on top. The younger stuff is underneath. Now, if it was hollowed out,
Is it like
the older
shedding?
stuff on top? It is rusting. Have you seen that? The moon is literally rusting. There's not any air up there. So how is it rusting? But it is you are seeing more and more of a rust color on the moon when they take high definition pictures. Look it up. It's real. This is scientific shit I'm talking about.
Is it just Zack Snyder taking the photos? Because
Well,
like all of his
no,
shit
because
looks
it would take
rusted.
forever to get there. It would just
Yeah.
so long to get to the picture of the moon. I couldn't wait that long.
9.1 billion years old. It is in fact older than the Earth.
In fact, he said
Okay,
it. In
no,
fact.
listen.
It is
No, but he said it was in fact.
Writing 9.1 billion on a dry erase board,
D-
it does nothing.
Dude, he's not using a chalkboard. He's using a dry erase board, and this is like 30 years ago. This guy's advanced. Today he'd be using like one of those like what they use in the schools now. They call them whiteboards, but they're like actually like LED or something.
Really? I don't know. Pull back a couple seconds because this next shit, I mean, every 3 seconds is bananas.
It's deep. That's what I know.
9.1 billion years old. It is in fact older than the Earth.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
As he said.
many of the materials that have been found on the moon, minerals, don't exist on our planet. The moon did not belong to part of the Earth.
Wait, okay.
He has a valid
What
point.
elements?
Okay, he doesn't have the greatest point, but he has a valid point where there's very rare material on Earth is more prevalent and able to get to on the moon. That's why they've been thinking about drilling on the moon because you got iridium and all these things that are
Right.
way more amounts of it. I don't know about things that
So they do
aren't.
exist. I'm sure he's going to tell us about these elements that exist
I hope so.
and these minerals that exist on the moon that don't exist here. Like
Promethium.
I'm sure like there's some unattainable and like some made upables limbs.
Okay, let's see.
It was brought here,
Literally.
literally.
By who? For
Solar
what?
system
He's gonna let us know, dude. It's by the Andromedans, the Andromedanans, those people that are still here. Our solar system has 8 artificial.
has 8 artificial moons
Oh shit!
that were brought here. They can literally, underneath their own power,
I didn't know about
leave
all
our
8.
solar system.
Oh,
What?
The
yeah.
dark beings living on
They could leave our solar system if they wanted to. There's 8 here. I don't know what planets have the other ones, but what I was saying before, we are. Oh no, I did say that we're the only planet that has a satellite that we've seen that only has one. I think that's kind of interesting.
Now, the upper echelon of the world government know this. They've
Yeah, they
known
do.
it for a very long
Then
time.
why are they keeping this is the same as the flat earth bullshit.
Because then you would have knowledge. This guy's giving us hidden knowledge and you are not appreciating it, Mad.
Look, I get it. You're at the conference room at the local La Quinta. Okay? You got 3 people to sign up.
I think they're in his bedroom. He just like tried
You're
to
right.
push the bed away, you know?
Maybe La Quinta was
a little pricey.
yeah,
Pricey.
yeah, you're right.
He's at some like motel, not even 8. It's like, oh, is it oh no, it's Motel 6. I was gonna say Motel 8, 8 satellites. Is there a coincidence? But it's Motel 6. That would have been better though. Look how serious he looked.
But they didn't want us to know because of the element of power.
Power.
What?
We'll discuss that.
He's gonna discuss it.
I mean, there are so many questions to what he's already said. I am not ready to leap into this.
Yeah. A civilization that can build a Dyson sphere could build a moon-sized spacecraft if they wanted to. And you're right. You were absolutely right on that.
They could build all kinds of things.
I mean, didn't we find a star that we thought, because it would go dim, light, and we thought that they built a structure around it to harvest the power of that sun?
Yeah, it was just a low
I haven't heard
battery.
much about that in a long time. Yeah, low battery. Oh, God. I love my people here in the chat. All right.
Now,
Okay, now. He's getting serious, dude.
Earth has been colonized off and on for many hundreds of millions of years.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
The first race to actually chart our planet was a group from Alpha Draconis. They are
How
reptilian.
do you know this?
Bro, he has been researching this shit. How? I mean, I've heard of the alpha guys and the reptilian beings. We've all heard of that. I didn't think they got here first, but maybe they did. This is powerful. Alex Collier on reptilian ETs from Alpha Draconis.
beings. They're anywhere from 7 feet to
Ow.
22
NBA
feet
players?
tall. and can
Why
weigh
did you
up to
take off your
18
glasses if you're still writing on the fucking whiteboard?
Because this is how powerful this is. And for me, I would have to
Wait,
take off
I'm
my
sorry.
glasses to write on the whiteboard.
Did he say 7 feet tall to 22
22.
feet tall?
Yep. And can weigh up to
That
18 pounds.
may have to bring
They
back a
are.
couple.
They are definitely very thin.
100 pounds.
Oh, 800 pounds.
And they don't like human beings.
No, they don't.
Not here, not anywhere.
Wait, what do you mean not anywhere?
Oh, we're colonizing probably other places. He's talking about
We are?
Yeah, the secret space program that's been going on since the 60s. Come on, man.
They were the very first.
Okay, I do find it weird that we were able to get to the moon a handful of times, and then we haven't gone back since the 70s, early 70s, and since then we've lost the technology to get through the radiation belt and get back to the moon.
Yeah.
And they said they lost it in a flood.
I mean, yeah, shit like that. I mean, look at the way that
But lizard people can't. Reptilians.
look at the way that they used to build all kinds of things, even like refrigerators. They were phenomenal.
They
But
were.
we just don't build them that way.
Mhm.
A lot of it has to do with like, you know, the effort and the material and the labor that would go into building these things.
Mhm.
And then, you know,
Yeah.
it's the same as like, all right, cool. Give a typewriter to some Gen Alpha or whoever is after millennials, right? And see how they do. They're gonna
Mhm.
they're not gonna know how to fucking, like, what if they make a mistake? Why is there no
Yeah.
autocorrect with no
Right.
spell check? Wait, I got to spell on my own?
Yeah, that's true. Very interesting. So you're proving his point. Took off
What?
his
What?
glasses. Shit has just got real. That's the
No,
truth.
that was towards your
No.
whole like we forgot how to do things.
Yeah, but space? How to get to the moon? I don't know.
They were the very first to chart it.
Okay.
They were also the very first to actually have a small colony here 809 million years ago.
That is such
Wait-
a
Wait
specific
a minute.
number.
Were they dinosaurs? Is he confusing dinosaurs with the reptilian people?
I mean,
'Cause
they're
there were-
22 feet tall and 800 pounds. Yeah.
It could easily be.
Now, one of the very first colonies or places that was colonized on the planet is North America.
Absolutely
crap.
fucking not. One, North America 809 years ago wasn't a fucking thing.
He's talking with before, Pan, whatever.
Look at the picture they're showing.
Well, he's just because, like you said, maybe there's some Gen Zers in there that can't fathom what he's talking about. So he's showing, the
This
United
was
States.
30 years ago.
I can't defend him on this one. Okay, but
809 million years ago. It was Pangea.
Pangea. Yeah, Pangea. Yeah. Why do you think? Well, who do you think rode the dinosaurs? Very good one.
I guess the Nazis.
And it's Generation Omega.
There are approximately, today,
How many do you think?
1,833 of these reptilians still exist.
That's such a specific number.
That's what tells you it's true, Mad.
Oh, inside the planet.
Oh, well, it is a hollow Earth. Oh, he's onto something.
They have lived here for thousands of years.
No,
They've
for
lived
millions of years,
thousands
dummy.
of years.
They got here 809 million years ago.
Okay, just you know what? Let's hear what he has to say before you attack this man, who's maybe a genius.
They have lived here for thousands of years. They live thousands of years.
Oh,
Their bodies are not like ours.
Well, yeah, the reptilian.
Reptilian, yeah.
They live anywhere from 100 to 200 miles beneath the surface.
So not even through the crust, huh?
This is where they are. And it's all over.
Well, not all over. There's only 1,800 of them.
He's really confusing the shit out of me.
Right,
It's
like the I don't
his
know if you know
numbers
this,
aren't
Mr.
working.
Collier, but the Earth is pretty fucking big. And if there's only 1,800 of them, I mean, they don't even have a Whole Foods
Yeah, like
with that many with that population size.
We still live in North America. Okay, maybe another 20 in like South America. Yeah, he's not making much sense, but they're everywhere. So I believe
no,
that.
It's honeycombed with tunnels and caverns.
they'd be lucky if they get a Sonic to open up
Oh man,
with 1800.
can you imagine a reptilian on roller skates trying to bring you your meal in a cave?
All I'm saying is that population is too low for Whole Foods. For
Well,
I-
if you have someone who lives thousands of years, I mean, that Whole Foods will at least have dedicated, patrons for
I
more
guess
weird.
my
So
point being is you can't say they're everywhere. Like they're all over they're not.
he's
There's 1800 of
misspeaking.
them.
Yeah, maybe he meant like 1,800,033 of them. I don't know.
There are approximately 18,000 what we know as grays between here and our moon.
Oh, so they're
Just
in the
floating?
moon.
Underneath the surface of the planet.
They're underneath the surface of the planet.
Hanging out with
Huh.
the fucking reptilians?
Yeah,
I don't think they
wouldn't
get along, bro.
Yeah, but maybe one conquered the other.
Although
We don't
there
know.
is only
Originally came from Zeta Reticuli.
That's true.
I'm giving you the Andromedan perspective. I'm not here
Yeah,
to challenge anybody else's information. I'm here to tell you their perspective.
their perspective.
Grays
Right.
came from Zeta Reticuli.
So what he's saying is, I'm not here to challenge anyone else's information. You're wrong, though, because it's their information. I
Also,
got
don't
you.
challenge mine. I am just giving you their perspective.
Yeah. So what do
Their
you think?
lived experience is what it would be said today.
Their mullets are not like
Not
ours.
ours.
His mullet isn't even like ours. I mean, his mullet is, someone called it a skullet, and that was fantastic. This guy has a degree in Steiner math.
So I showed the clip of Scott Steiner to the girlfriend, and she goes, "You know what? That math actually works out." Like she did the math, and she's like, "Actually, it works out."
I want her to come on next week and prove the math works out.
Explain that, yeah.
Autumn.
They left
That's just her
there
perspective, though.
They left there 892,000 years ago, so they're pretty new.
800,000 years ago.
Yeah,
They
relatively.
got trapped in a war called the Orion War,
I've heard of that war.
which lasted 600,000 years.
Yeah, we think our wars last long.
It was a galactic war between reptilian forces and human beings.
I don't feel like we could have defended ourselves for 600,000 years.
That goes back to my ancient lost civilization that had technology.
All the underground, is that why they had all those underground fucking
you could
things?
be-
Is because those are reptilian huts and
Oh,
shit?
shit.
Because it's only
Those-
100 to 200 miles. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. And maybe they were those were like their Whole Foods, a little higher up,
What?
so they can get grain and animals, and that's where they
Matt.
shop.
Matt, the hollow earth stuff, though,
I'm
is
with you,
kind
Matt.
of legit.
I'm with you. Oh no, I'm with them.
Bro.
You guys will all be one of these days. You're all going to be punked because the Earth is way more Swiss cheesy
Oh, this is some
Swiss
banana
cheesy
in this.
than most people think.
What happened was
Matt's
they were
onto something.
captured
I'm with them.
by a group
The grays
Oh,
were?
they
Orion,
Yeah, the Greys were.
the constellation of Orion, which is Rigel, Valtrax, Ursa Major, Ursa Minor.
Okay.
They were genetically altered there. Many of the females of their species were killed,
Unalived.
so they could not reproduce, so they could control the race.
How are they here
Okay.
now? Wait, first of all, that was a subplot in Mass Effect where you had the big.
This was way
Uh,
before Mass Effect.
Okay, you're right. It's 30 years ago.
Okay.
I take it back.
So that their sexual organs would become atrophied, and eventually they just wouldn't be there because they weren't being used.
Oh,
Now,
So yeah, it's the old use it or lose it.
yeah.
If you don't use your penis, it's gonna
It's
fall
falling.
off. Yeah,
Yeah.
those ovaries just be dropping out of those gray vaginas.
Grays, at the same time this was going on,
Okay.
decided that the emotional part of themselves, their personality, was their
What?
weakest link.
Oh, that
No,
makes sense.
the weakest link apparently was their fucking sexual organs.
Was their fighting ability too. So I mean,
How do
They
they still
literally-
exist?
we'll find out.
How
Maybe
can
like,
you breed out your emotions if if your ovaries are dragging on the ground?
you don't reproduce that one who's crying. Like, ovaries are on the ground.
You
then
get what I'm
don't
saying?
I
Those
get
are
what you mean.
contradictory things.
This guy's He has a whiteboard, and he's wearing a suit. You just look at him.
Read or thought out the emotional part of their bodies,
Oh, thought out
of their
things.
character.
Oh, so you didn't
Which is
even
why
give
they
him a
have no
chance.
emotion. They're robots.
Pretty
They're-
much, like
they're not.
They're not actual robots.
There are approximately 2,100 actual grays.
2100.
Actual physical grays
Oh, not metaphorical
that
grace.
have a soul that are part
What?
of the original race.
Oh,
the
so maybe
lineage
he's
of the
saying
original race
the new ones
in our
are.
solar system.
No, they're not though, because you said they didn't get here until 800,000 years ago, whereas the reptilians have been here for 8.9 million years or some
What he's
800
saying.
million years or some dumb
No,
shit.
no. What he's saying is the grays were captured. There's only like 1,800 left that are actually from that original race. Whatever the constellation they were at that captured them has changed the grays. So there's two different type of grays now. There's the original ones that may still have the ability to hump, and then there's the ones that can't.
But they couldn't because those were the ones that they were genetically altering to not hump.
Yeah, he's saying there's some that here. Listen to what the poor man is trying to tell you. God. So the other ones, they're kind of like robots, or they are robots.
Today, there are approximately 2,100 actual grays,
Actual,
actual physical grays
still physically grays.
that have a soul
Yep.
that are part of the
The
original,
original race.
the lineage of the original race
Right, lineage.
in our solar system.
Okay, so
But
they made it.
they came
All
to our
rest.
solar system.
All the rest,
Virtually every single one that are doing the abductions on people
Clones
are
are
clones.
of
They're
like
robots.
robot or
But they're-
robots.
no,
They're not.
No,
They
he
don't
didn't
have an
say of.
essence.
That person screwed it
On
up.
people are clones. They're robots.
They're robots.
They're not. They don't have an essence. They don't have a soul in them. They're robots.
Okay, so
Wait,
they're
so
not
are they
real either.
robots or clones? Those
They're
are
cloned
two
robots,
very
dude.
different things.
It's a meshing
Also-
of materials.
Okay, listen, if when someone gets lobotomized, right, and they lose all that personality or whatever, they're just kind of like almost a vegetable, right? They don't lose their essence. They don't lose their soul.
What? I mean, okay, but that's a person. We're talking about an alien race. We don't understand as much as he does, and it's he
How
only
did
has
the
a short
war stop?
time until his his hour-long renting of this room is over. So
Who
come on.
won the Orion War or whatever the fuck it was that lasted for 600,000
You didn't
years?
tell us yet. Okay, well, let's find out.
Does everybody follow me so far?
Germany? What?
The Greys have a problem. They're dying.
They're dying out.
This is why they basically are here.
Okay.
Now, we, as a planetary race, offer them a great opportunity to possibly save their race.
Ah, the 1954 Greada Treaty. Is that where we're going to?
We have the paperwork.
But it isn't working. And I'll explain why that is.
Why is it?
Oh, shut up.
Man, come on.
I mean, that was good though,
We
right?
need all that information.
Yeah.
We need it
I started
all.
reaching for the keyboard immediately.
No, we're going over all that next week. I don't care if we have to rehash all of that. That was
Yep.
amazing.
What was his name?
Oh, yeah.
Alan Collier?
Alex Collier. Okay. And UFO at UFO Dave seems to know what's up. Okay. Wow, that was some powerful shit. And we're not, wait a minute. We got to see the wall. This one's quick. And we're going to just play it so we're not over the 2-hour mark. Okay. I know we can mad fap 56 seconds to be like 4 hours. But this is the other thing you put in the DM.
They found another advanced world just outside of Antarctica. They don't want us going there. Once you understand, there's more land beyond Antarctica. What's another word for more? Extra. What's another word for land?
Oh boy.
Oh.
Together in a word, extra terra.
Well, no, it would be extra
Oh.
territory.
Shut up, dude. It's extra terra.
Well, you can't keep the
Boom.
first word as what you said, extra, and then the second word, territory, change it.
Who are you, dude? Who are you? That's extra terra. Boom. Like that, dude. first of all, Antarctica, we know from his diary, Admiral Byrd's actual diary that was found after his death secretly by his son, that he found flying over Antarctica, he found pastures and mammoths and
Who
tractor
did
beam
this?
pulled them in. Oh, Admiral Byrd. We could talk
Oh,
about
it's
that.
weird
next
because he
week.
never talked about it. You think that would be something he would bring up?
No, he did in his diaries that his son found, after he died. Hey, Bryden, don't say hi to him.
It's weird because
You
he did
met
interviews.
AJ?
You would think
Dude,
that
you
during
met
one of those
AJ?
interviews that would come up.
Is he in Vegas with you guys? That
I found a
sucks. I
whole
would have
one.
loved to meet him.
Holy fuck! It's 2 hours long, bro.
Oh, we'll watch that next
Somebody
week.
came from the
Wait, this-
Extraterra
I don't know if this is the same one or not.
All right, I'm just going to finish this real quick.
outside of Antarctica. We might call them an extraterrestrial from the outer space.
These people inside the Hollow Earth have been
Hollow
living
Earth.
there for 2,500 years.
I believe
There is one continent inside the Earth and one ocean. Their capital city is built around the original lost Garden of Eden. The
Oh, boy.
vegetation grows like a paradise. The people
Without
live
the sun,
to be
cool.
up to 800 years old. They
Mhm.
communicate
They have
with
their own sun.
telepathy. The inner Earth people have built these
Then why do they have
androids
mouths?
that
Called the
fly their flying saucers out to reconnoiter the outer Earth. Our government has been knocking flying saucers out of the sky and back engineering these.
They kind of suck, huh?
Wow, that was deep. That was good. Oh, he lives in Vegas, man. I'm gonna watch the new Wi-Files right now after this. We'd love to have him on the channel. Never will happen, but hey, I had a good time tonight. Matt, did you have a good time?
Of course I did.
I did too. I hope you all had a good time. Thank you guys for being here. Hey,
I am
before you leave-
literally one of my favorite YouTubers.
You're one of my favorite. Whatever you think, YouTube. I am a YouTuber's YouTuber, and I appreciate having someone else that is trying to be like me on here. So,
Oh boy.
we'll be back next week for Aluminum Spork. Tuesday we'll be here for a Song of Ice and Fire, and Thursday because I missed. We won't do the Daredevil one. But
Not worth
I
it.
might do a members only where I play Game of Thrones King's Road that I bought like a month ago. But guys, when we're done here, please refresh and just leave a comment. It may help with and let this run. Let it run. I found out YouTube is the more people watch it like lengthwise, the more they throw it out there. So I hope you all have a good night. Mad, what are you up to?
Tuesday doing a meta pep. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I don't know what story.
Mhm.
I don't know what story we're gonna be going over. But
Mhm.
it will be a good one, I promise.
Okay.
And that's about it.
All right, great, man. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you and everything
Of
you
course.
do. Guys, have a great night. We'll see you on Tuesday or next week for another Aluminum Spork. We're out. I really need an outro.
Yeah.
I just played the intro over again.
By the way, downloaded the whole video.
Oh,
Welcome to Aluminum Spork, where mysteries come to talk.
oh, Zombie Box gifting one membership too.
Ancient
Cannonball the
cities
Dragon. Thank you,
underground.
brother.
Cannibal the
Cannibal,
dragon.
that's what I said. Cannibal.
Rivers that flow around.
Zombie Box rock. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Giant